daily to daily to daily to daily to daily to daily to what? You think it ain't when it is? You think it won't when it is? We are here and we are in motion. We do this thing, taking off fast lane, no coasting. Let's go, baby. All right. So tonight on the Daily Go Get a Business Show, we are talking about they liked you better when you were weaker, prettier, and dumber. Weaker, prettier, dumber, weaker, dumber, and prettier, prettier. When you're down, when you're out, when they really know what your life is all about. As soon as you start coming up and feeling much better, as soon as you start heating up like a wool sweater, it's a whole different game, a whole different ball game. They don't want to treat you the same, trying to change your name. And when you start walking in your faith and everybody knows you can't be taken down easily, then this game just changed for you and me, and you know what I'm talking about. So that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Get a Business Show. Now we're going to twist this a little bit. This is going to be a little different. What we want to talk about tonight, what I want to know tonight is when you were weaker or when you are weaker, easier to manipulate, when you'll take the advice or the direction of anybody without even really checking them or asking them or questioning them, do they consider you to be more likable? Not only just consider you to be more likable, are you more attractive to people when they can push you around and make you just, when you're a doormat, they say we can't respect somebody who lets you walk all over them. They say we can't respect that. Some people say we don't even like that. But is it true? Is it consistent? Is it consistent enough for us to make that declaration? Is it true that people don't like people who they can walk all over? I think that we could dispute that because you see these leaders all over the world, they always keep that around them. For real. When we start talking about yes men, some of the most charismatic leaders around the world in history have made sure they kept people around them who were basically doormats for them, who just let them do whatever they wanted, say whatever they wanted, followed all of their ideas, took all of their directions, followed all of their instructions, and believed in all of their ideas. And those people, some of those people were kings and queens and emperors all around the world. Not saying that they weren't smart and all of that, but what I'm saying is, for us to say that nobody likes somebody who kisses their ass and all of that kind of stuff, or nobody respects anybody that kisses their ass, are we being truthful? Are we telling ourselves the truth? Now, for me and you, it might be true, except for the likable part. We might not respect somebody who is a yes man for anybody or even ourselves, but it doesn't mean that we don't like them. And I think that if you can muster up the ability to be able to like somebody a lot and possibly even love them, then on some level, in some ways, you'll probably be able to respect them also. Why not? Well, we're going to talk about why not and how not, or how if. But the twist on this show tonight is going to be how we associate liking somebody with being physically attracted to somebody. Do we think that people are prettier, authentically, naturally prettier, when they have low self-esteem, low self-confidence, feelings of low self-worth? When they start getting on their high horse and start getting themselves together and start believing in themselves and stop letting anybody and everybody influence them, do we start looking at them like, I don't know. Now they think that they the shit. I don't know if they that cute. I don't know if he's that fine. I don't know. Now, many of us believe that self-confidence is very attractive and very beautiful and very, very pretty. It makes people look like, okay, yeah, I see you, walking with your head high. with your shoulders back, with that pep in your step. Okay, yeah, you looking good. Most of us probably look at it that way, like, go ahead, do your thing, baby. I see you. I see you. Okay, my brother. Yeah, you over there getting your shine on. It's probably attractive to us because we probably want to see people feeling better about themselves. And it might be an inspiration to us. But for the person that's a tyrant, for the person that's negatively controlling, for the person that wants to be able to control you, or or have you come at their every beck and call. Yeah, you probably don't look so cute to them. You know, when people have the trophy wife, do those trophy wives now physically, they're normally very attractive, very good looking. But do they stand up for themselves? Or are they normally controlled by the money that the person who has declared them to be the trophy, are they normally controlled by that money that the person who has declared them to be a trophy has? You know, would they be so cute if they started controlling more of their destiny? Excuse me, more of their destiny. Let's make it a little bit easier. Let's say the man of the house, the husband, he has a beautiful wife, but his wife is a housewife. He goes to work, makes all the money, does does what he has to do, brings the bacon home, and he controls the finances in the family, which basically means he controls the family. Everything has to go through him, which isn't a bad idea in the right situation with the right mindset. However, what happens, and his wife might be a bad joint. You know what I mean? Nice little fatty. Look at you. You know what I mean? Perky up here. You know what I'm saying? Definitely well balanced. She's a well balanced meal. You know what I mean? Some might call her a snack. I would call her a well balanced meal. Bow and boom. Anyway. So let's say she doesn't want to be a housewife anymore. She don't want to be a housewife no more. The kids are old enough to be able to go to school, come home, take care of themselves, or be able to. At least they're old enough to be able to, let themselves in and out of the house and take care of themselves until the parents get home from work. So let's say she goes back to school. She starts taking classes, gets her degree or something like that. She goes and she starts to work. She starts doing well in her career. She's motivated, talented, smart, you know, for this husband who has been the number one breadwinner and the biggest influence and he's sort of like he has been pretty much the motor of the family. Will she start looking probably to everybody else? She starts looking cute, like, oh my gosh, she was fine in the first place, but look at this. She's making her own money. She's contributing to the family. You know what I mean? She damn near making more money than he is. Okay, he got himself a superstar. They like a power couple. He ain't looking at her like this is no power couple. He ain't looking at his situation like it's a power couple. He looking at her like she's trying to outdo me. She's trying to outshine me. You know, she's trying to be the man of the house. She ain't that cute to me. He needs somebody who's weaker. He needs somebody who's dumber. He needs somebody who's more submissive. Not that I have a problem with being submissive. Submissive is one of those buzzwords, one of those words that get people talking because a lot of people don't understand what submission really means. But anyway, maybe to him, she doesn't look as cute. She don't look as fine. Maybe he needs himself a little side chick. He needs somebody on the side who will submit to his whims, who will need him more, who will be more dependent upon him. That's who he needs to be good looking. His wife might start to look very unattractive to him. Like I don't need no woman trying to be the man in my house. And she wasn't trying to be the man in your house. All she was trying to do is go to school, go to work, and improve herself. But he might be looking at her like, well, the only reason that you have to go back to school and go to work and all of that kind of stuff to so-called improve yourself is because you're preparing to get rid of me. You're preparing for life without me. If you're not dependent upon me, then you must be dependent upon yourself because you plan on being free or solo. His wife might not look so attractive to him anymore. He needs him a little pretty side chick. He needs himself a starter kit. Can it happen? Can someone start looking physically unattractive to you because they are no longer able to be controlled by you? Now, some of y'all might struggle with this topic because y'all may not be controlling people. Y'all might not be on that type time. Y'all might not be the type that wants somebody to be like, yes, 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 I'll do it. You might be the type of person that wants somebody to challenge you. You might be the type of person who's self-aware and progressive to understand that y'all don't know everything. So you might want somebody to fill in your empty spaces, to teach you what you don't know, to show you where you can't, show you where you haven't been able to go before. You might have some sense, and you might be interested in dealing with somebody who has some sense also. You know what I'm saying? You might be looking for somebody who is a superstar in their own right. Somebody to balance you out, smooth you out, make you feel good on the outside, on the inside. Have you ever been the person? Have you ever been the person who had low self-esteem, who had low self-confidence, who had a sense of low self-worth, and it showed on the outside? Maybe everybody really thought that you were cute. Maybe you were the type of person that everybody was always saying that you are so pretty, or you are so fine, you are so handsome. If you would only do this, that, and the third, if you only had a better job, if you only believed in yourself, if you only recognized your talents, if you only stepped up to the plate and would become the leader that you are, you would be super, super, super great. But maybe on the inside, you felt that you were ugly because you know how it is. When your self-confidence ain't there, when your self-esteem is low, you don't feel pretty, you don't feel handsome, you don't feel good looking. But it could be that other people think that you look great. Think about this. And I want y'all to think about this hard, because this is not a situation that's as popular as it used to be when we were younger, growing up. I'm talking about 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago and beyond. A pimp, a street pimp, he didn't go out and get girls that were doing well in their lives and working and feeling good and getting a shine on out there in the world. What kind of woman became what kind of women started to work for a pimp? It would be runaways. It would be girls who were good looking but didn't have any money, that were abused at home, whose self-confidence was low, who dropped out of school, who were out there on the streets just trying to make it from day to day, just trying to survive. Those were the girls. Those were the girls he brought in, shined up, gave a place to stay, turned them out, and put them out there on the street. Think about that. He didn't get women who were working. He didn't get women who were doing well for themselves. A lot of times he didn't even get women who had children of their own and who had responsibilities. He got them while they were young and impressionable, and very easy and very easily controlled. Think about that. Meanwhile, how did he control them? He had nice clothes, cars, had money, and he could guarantee them that they wouldn't have to be out here on the streets. Not in that way. Oh, they was going to be out here on the streets, but they was going to be making money, and he was going to take care of them, and they would be his woman. Sure, he had a bunch of other women that they knew about, but you was going to be my number one woman. You my brand new superstar, and I'm gonna take care of you. Them other women, they just work for me. They're my women, but they just work for me. You're gonna be my woman. That's how I got them. Get them strung out on drugs and all that kind of stuff. And as soon as they started to not want to be out there on the streets anymore, as soon as they wanted to get their lives together, as soon as they didn't want to be on drugs anymore, as soon as they wanted to keep a greater percentage of the money that they were making instead of handing all the money off to him, as soon as they started to do that, I got to get rid of this. I got to get rid of this woman, but I ain't gonna let her work for nobody else. She got to be out of here. Pimp mentality. And maybe more people out here have the pimp mentality than they give themselves credit for. Maybe they don't even know how a pimp thinks, and maybe they don't know how a pimp moves. But when you're talking about somebody who controls people strictly by their mind, see, in the movies, they have you thinking that pimps are always beating on their women and all that, beating on the girls and all that kind of stuff. He ain't gorilla pimping them hoes. No, it's all mental. Think about it. Wouldn't nobody be able to whoop your ass and make you go out there and have sex with men for money? Would nobody be able to beat you every day and get you to do that? Shoot, you out there running from the cops. You mean to tell me you couldn't go to the cops and tell them what's happening with you? Even if you had to go to jail for a couple of days, like, well, listen, this is what's going on. There's a criminal enterprise going over here with prostitution, and the only reason that I'm here, participate in this prostitution is because my man has me thinking that he's going to kill me if I don't do it. Can y'all help me out? Yeah, of course. I don't care how drugged out and how silly you are or how uneducated you are. That you've been told and taught that the police are there to help you out, and they definitely going to help you out with that. So there's a mental element to pimping that may not be exclusive to pimping. So that's what we're talking about tonight on the Daily Go Getimism Show. They liked you better when you were weaker, prettier, and dumber. Or weaker, dumber, and prettier. What y'all think? What's going on, Carol Chamberlain, me friend, me favorita? Thanks for coming on. Boz, good to see you. Stacey White, thanks for coming through tonight. Glad to see you. That's right. And my brother from another mother, Norris Hill, sit back, relax, do your thing. Max and Chills, good to see you, my brother. Thanks for coming on through. You know how it is, and you know how we do. What's up, y'all? Yeah, low self-esteem. And Norris Hill says, insecurity is a mother. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And people capitalize on people's insecurity. Low self-esteem, low self-confidence, feelings of low self-worth. When you're down and out, you can best believe that people are going to come and be friends with you. As long as you weren't up before. We all know the stories of when you was getting it out there, when you was making it happen, when you was helping people out, when you was paying people's way. Yeah, we know that you got friends then. But as soon as you were down and you couldn't finance people anymore or help people out, or you weren't there for their purposes anymore, or you couldn't fuel their selfishness anymore, they left you by yourself. But when you never had the crowd, when you were never popular, when you were never the one that everybody depended on, people will come around you because you're not a threat to them. You're not a threat. You're not a threat. People like little bear. People like bear cubs because bear cubs are babies and they're not big enough or strong enough to fuck you up yet. Get it? When that bear starts to grow, well, that ain't such a teddy bear. It's a big grizzly bear, big black bear. It's strong and it eats what it wants. When it gets hungry, it'll eat things, hurt things. So yeah, the bear cub, oh, that's a little teddy bear. Yeah, nice little bear. Same thing with a tiger cub. Same thing with a lion cub. A lion cub, tiger cub, they ain't gonna hurt nothing. Yeah, it's bigger than a regular kitten cat, regular than a little kitty, kitten, a pussy cat. But it's not as dangerous as a full-grown lion or a full-grown tiger. You can handle yourself a baby, and that's why they're so cute. Oh my God, look at little guys, these little lion cubs. Yeah, as long as it stays small and weak and ineffective, it's cute because you can feed it. It ain't so cute when you become the food. When you're doing the feeding, things are pretty, cute. But when you become the food of that thing that you used to feed, that thing ain't so cute no more, is it? Mm. It ain't so pretty. We love male lions. Think about it. We love male lions because we like that mane. We love that mane. You know, we don't talk about how pretty the lioness is. The female lion, like they aight. They aight. But the male lion, oh my God, that big pretty mane on them and whatever. And don't let it have the dark black mane. Like, oh my God, this is such a majestic creature. But when that mouth open, we be like, mm. You see them big ass teeth, them big giant paws. A full grown male lion weighs like 400 to 500 pounds. It can get up to 600 pounds. That's a big cat. The tongue is like sandpaper. No, worse than sandpaper. It will lick a lion, male or female, will lick the skin right off of your arm. Off. Anyway, they liked you when you were weaker, dumber, and prettier. Yeah. Nar says Siegfried and Roy come to mind. Yep. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Yeah, that didn't end so well. What they say? It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun, man. People like what they can control. People like what they can manipulate. They like that. So what about you? Have you ever been that person who had to come up out the mud, but people liked you better or they found you to be more attractive when you were in the mud? Now you done came and got yourself cleaned up, looking good, smelling good, showing good. Nah, I'm good. I'm all right. Put it like this. When you were being chosen, you might have been the greatest thing since sliced bread. But now that you're doing the choosing, it's like, who is you? Who is you to be doing the choosing? Who is you? Do you know what I'm saying? Don't stand there stiff like you're frozen. At first you were choosing, but now you're being chosen. That's what my man Just Ice said back in 1986 on the song Latoya. 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 I used to like Just Ice. I thought he was dope. Cold getting dumb. Yeah. So yeah. What up, Mia? Thanks for coming on through. Thanks for coming through, coming on by. Good to see you. I just want to say hi. So we're talking about they liked you better when you were weaker, dumber, and prettier. Weaker, dumber, and prettier. Have you ever been the weaker, dumber, and prettier one? Or prettier when you were weaker and dumber and easier to manipulate and easier to control? When you didn't know much, you were beautiful. It was like, you know how they call when you don't know much, they call that innocence. But what about when you stop being so innocent? When you had your innocence taken away? Because honestly, you're not innocent anymore when you're not ignorant anymore. Innocence is like ignorance. And they say ignorance is bliss. It can be. It can be blissful. When you don't, what they say, what you don't know won't hurt you, right? Sometimes, we may wish we could go back to a time when we didn't know, when we didn't understand the threat. When we didn't understand the threat wasn't real to us and it never hurt us. As soon as we understood the threat, then the threat was coming to bite us in the ass all the time. It was coming to hurt us all the time. It was coming to threaten us, be a real physical and emotional, mental threat all the time. But back when we didn't know, everything was all right. Some of us had really good childhoods. We were sheltered. We were kept away from painful situations and dangerous situations. Others of us had rough childhoods. Whether it was linked to finances or abuse or dysfunctional households, things like that. It wasn't, we didn't all grow up the same. So we didn't all have the same perspective. But one thing is for sure, each and every one of us grew up in households where we didn't know everything. And whoever was the head of our households didn't know everything either. So they taught us what they knew. Sometimes they didn't teach us what they knew. Sometimes we were kept in the dark. Sometimes we were kept in the dark, like a 24/7, 365-day belief in Santa Claus. Like Santa Claus don't even have nothing to do with this situation. So what? I believe in Santa Claus. In other words, I believe in the fantasy. I believe that on this special day, everything is going to be all right by some kind of force that I have no control over. But it's going to make everything all right. And that's our ignorance speaking. So when somebody sees that you don't know, and they're not interested in you finding out, because they're attracted to the fact that you don't know stuff and you're still able to make it out here. You know how it is. You know how when people don't respect your mentality, they don't respect your intelligence, but they are intrigued and impressed by the fact that without you knowing anything, you're still able to be out here doing well for yourself. Do you know what I'm talking about? Because sometimes it's you. Sometimes it's you. It's you who they don't respect as far as their intelligence is concerned, but they respect the fact that you're able to make it out here. It's like when people be like, yeah, they ain't got no education. They don't have no schooling. They ain't too book smart. but they a hustler. They're gonna make it out here. They're gonna make sure that they eat. They're gonna make sure that their kids eat. You got to kind of think about what people are really saying when they say that. And I don't mean to be negative, but like I said, you really have to think about what people are saying when they say these things. They're not necessarily paying you a compliment. Like, I don't know how your dumb ass keeps on making it, but you do. If I had the look that you had, then I would be on top of the world because I'm smart. You a dummy, and you still making it. Mia says, people ask, what happened when you toughen up and the innocence is gone? Is that like, are those like song lyrics? Because sometimes y'all be dropping song lyrics and I don't be knowing. And I don't like that. I think y'all disrespecting my intelligence or my song knowledge. I know songs. I know singers. Mia also says some folks want you to remain ignorant and innocent. Yeah, they do. And part of what we talking about tonight is whether you look prettier to them. Do you look prettier when your self-confidence and your self-esteem is low? It is low. Sadat X, who was Derek X at the time he said this. No, he might have been Sadat X. Remember the group Brand Nubian? You gotta love me or leave me alone. You gotta love me or leave me alone. You gotta love me or leave me alone. Well, they came out with a song. They came out with an album in 1998, and it was one that, to me, that it was their best album. And this is when Grand Poobah came back to Brand Nubian, and he had this in Sadat X. He had this lyric. He had this line on one of his songs. He was talking about a woman that he was attracted to, and he says something like she ain't go to school, she don't know that much or whatever. He said, but she's young and firm, she'll learn. And I used to rewind that part back over and over because I was, it was something about what he was saying. I'm like, damn, this what niggas like, huh? What's the name of the song? He said she don't know much, or she ain't go to school, or but she's young and firm, she'll learn. Young and firm, she'll learn. In other words, he gets to mold her, shape her, and influence her, and teach her everything that she's going to know. Right now, she's just a wildflower, all smitten with him, enthralled by him, and impressed by him. And I ain't saying that Sadat X didn't have any good intentions, but he also had a song, a whole song of his own, talking about well, no, it wasn't the name of the song that I'm talking about now, where he talked about child support. He was talking about the problems that he was experiencing with child support. And that song was called Probable Cause. Probable cause, probable cause. You don't have to break no laws. They say probable cause. Probable cause, probable cause. You don't have to break no laws. They say probable cause. And he's talking about his problems with New York child support. But he's also talking about other children that he has in other states and stuff like that. And how sometimes people say things in their lyrics and they reveal parts of themselves that they may not know that they're revealing. Sometimes when you express your pain, you also take the veil off of yourself and show who you really are. But anyway, the name of that song. Do yourselves a favor. Look up the song "Probable Cause" by Brand Nubian. I'll put it in. I put it in the comments. It's a great song. Type that in. Type that into your YouTube or whatever. You come. That's it's an old song. Right now, the song is like damn near 30 years old, but it was good. It was a good track. It was good, real good track. It's 25 years old. 25 years old. But yeah. Can you start looking physically unattractive to somebody because you won't do what they tell you to do? Or because you done stepped up to the plate and you feeling yourself? Because you done got yourself a job and you ain't all dependent. And now you done learned yourself a little something. So you ain't listening to the BS that you used to listen to before. You're not as easily influenced now as you were before. When you ain't know nothing. When you ain't know nothing. Nothing. Please do me this solid. Please hit that like button. Please share the show. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet. This is the Daily Go Getimism Show. I'm your host, Sun752. And we are talking about they liked you better when you were weaker, dumber, and prettier. Can somebody start looking ugly to you or not as cute or not as handsome or not as pretty because they done got themselves together and they don't need you as much as they used to need you? Has it ever happened? And I ain't trying to put nobody on blast. We all had to come from somewhere to get to where we are. There was a time in all of our lives when we weren't as smart as we are now. We didn't know as much as we do now. We didn't see things the same way then as we do now. We had to learn something. We had to go through the fire. We had to lose some friends, drop off some family members. We had to unload. We were carrying heavy loads in the backpack, and we had to take the backpack off for a minute and start prioritizing what stuff we really needed in order to go forward. And we had to leave some of that stuff behind. And some of those things were ignorance. Some of those things were trains of thought. Some of those things were people. Some of those things were friends. Some of those things were ways of life. It wasn't working for us no more. What works for a poor person don't work for a millionaire. Don't work. It don't work. And there were times in our lives when we had to figure out what was working now and what wasn't working anymore. And sometimes what keeps us down the longest is thinking that the same things that worked before that aren't working now will somehow work the same way again. It's like being on a treadmill. You're spending a lot of energy, but you ain't going nowhere. Yeah, you could look at your Fitbit or your Apple Watch or your Samsung or whatever smartwatch you have, and it'll say that you have gone this many miles, but you ain't moved. And there's a difference between putting out the energy of going 5 miles and actually going 5 miles and seeing things along the way. Have you ever jogged? Have you ever jogged or walked around your own neighborhood? You know how many people have never walked around or jogged around or looked around their own neighborhood? You start seeing like, wait a minute, they got nice houses around here. prime real estate. I live in the hood. I'm seeing mansions and castles. Literally. I'm seeing like, yo, this is the hood, but then I don't feel in danger. They got good people around here. We got forest animals over here in the hood. Yeah, you sure do. And those are the things that you're going to see when you actually go out and look, go out and see, go out and explore. But as long as you stay home on that treadmill, you're getting stronger, but you ain't learning. You ain't learning as much. You're not experiencing as much. Carol Chamberlain says, yes, big lessons learned over here. I hear that. She says, my problems stem from always being a helper to others who are down. I always get kicked in the ass in the end. I understand. I do. And unfortunately, there comes a time when we have to decide that I'm not taking no more kicks in the ass. My ass is no longer available for kicking. But guess what? Guess what happens? Guess what happened, Carol? Now that you ain't taking those, now that you done covered up your ass, now that you done put on a pair of Wranglers instead of some gabardines, because gabardines got this, the smooth, stretchable fabric. You done put on a pair of dungarees. You done put on a pair of dungarees and Wranglers. Now, since you're not a facilitator anymore, now since you're not the one giving, since you're not the one, boo-hooing for people who need to just, get up off of their ass and do something for themselves. Now that you have stopped being the provider for some people, I bet you ain't as cute as you used to be, Carol. I bet you. You're probably not around to hear them conversations, but I bet you they saying like, Carol used to be fine. She all right now. But she was a little perky thing. Tight. Now they trying to shit on you. You might not be around to hear those conversations. It's crazy. You are physically not as good looking anymore because you done got your shit together. You done stepped up to the plate. You done closed down your soup kitchen. And now look at you. You done dropped in rank. You was up there being a 8, 9, 10.
90.
Now they done dropped you down to like a 5. Like a 5? Man, you must be crazy. But it's just an opinion. And you can't always trust the opinion of a predator. Too many people trust the opinions of predators. The type of people that get out there first. They get out there to make sure that their influence is heard before you come along with the truth. So if the liar gets to the provided source before you do, you're gonna have a hard time convincing the provider because he already got a profile of you that makes you look bad. It looks like you're coming to them to try to get money that you don't deserve, and you only coming there to get what's owed to you. Man. Queen Monica, where'd you come popping up out the shadows? Wait, what's going on, Queen Monica? Carol says, and when I no longer do that, I'm mean and nasty. And probably not as cute. Mean, nasty. How can you be mean, nasty, and pretty? Mia says, exactly, Carol. What happened? What happened is you're done with the BS. I feel you. They liked you better when you were weaker, dumber, and prettier. You're not so cute no more. You're not so cute no more because now you done decided that you done had enough. Enough of the BS. No more. I can't rock with y'all no more. Yeah. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough. You know, losing friends is tough, especially when they've been long-term friends. And don't get me wrong, I'm not the type of person that's like that says things like, "Well, you were never really my friend if you left me when I did this or whatever." Blah 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 blah. I'm not the type that does that. I understand what people mean by that, but I just don't do that. I'm not going to say that you were never a friend when I know for a fact that at the time that I needed the friendship that you were providing, you provided it. So yeah, you were a friend. Just because I'm not getting from you what I need the most right now doesn't mean that you were never what I said that you were at the time. But it's hard losing friends. It's hard losing loved ones who are still walking this earth, who are still available, available for contact. It's hard. It's very, very difficult. If it was up to us, we would all stay with the people who was with us when we was shooting free throws in the gym. But we all started from a place of lower concentration and we rose to a place of higher concentration. And we didn't all move at the same time. And we didn't all move for the same reasons. And we didn't all move with the same people at the same pace. So sometimes you can go back and get some of those people who haven't gone in the direction that you've gone in, and sometimes they just can't go in the direction that you're going towards, or they can't reach the destination or be in the place that you have prepared for them. And it's tough when you have prepared a place for people and they ain't, they just can't be there. They just can't be there. It's like dealing with somebody on drugs, and y'all know how hard it is dealing with somebody on drugs. You trying to get them to get clean and recognize the better self that lives within them, and they like, man, they want to be what you want them to be, but who they are is stronger than what you want them to be. Who they are people that are on drugs. They strung out. They junkies. And I don't, regardless of what we talking about being weaker, dumber, and prettier, ain't nothing pretty about being no drug addict. Ain't nothing attractive about being no junkie. Nothing. Not one thing. That's probably one of those places where we have to draw the line, baby. Nara says they caught the vapors. Carol says, when I feel I used to, wait, when I feel used, I no longer associate with the users. I understand. But it wasn't that they used you, they abused you. You made yourself available for use. You still make yourself available for use. What you're not making yourself available for is abuse. Abuse is when you use something beyond what they are capable of being used for. That's when you hurt something that you're using. You abuse it. All of us are we're all used every day. I use people, you use people. That's what people are resources for us. They use us too. What we have a problem with is when they abuse us, when they stretch us farther than our rubber band structure will allow us to be stretched. I let you drive my car. You needed a ride. You need to go somewhere, whatever. You didn't have any transportation. I let you hold my car. You brought my car back on E with a dent in it. And you put my damn seat back. You ain't even put my seat back where you got it when I gave it to you. I got this dent. Talk about something. That dent must have been there. I ain't getting into no accident. What you talking about? My whole tail light is hanging out. I don't know. When I went in the store, it must have happened then. What did it happen on your watch? And why isn't there any gas in why isn't there any gas in my tank? Well, I ain't really had no money to fill up the tank. So the tank wasn't full when I gave it to you. But it was a half a tank. Oh, damn that shit. It looked like I'm gonna have to get the gas light is on. The gas light is on. Let me check my mileage. How far did you go? Been gone all day. Well, I ain't really even go nowhere. You check your gas. You check your odometer. Check your odometer. Like you went somewhere. It looked like you must have put some gas in here because you on a half a tank. Like I ain't got no damn hybrid. So you ain't gonna tell me that you went 300 miles on no half a tank. How you know? What you mean? I ain't go far. What you talking about? Yeah, they ain't know that you check your odometer. They don't know that you put the trip meter on before you gave them the car. They ain't paying attention. And your car came back smelling like smoke. They been smoking in your car. Weed, cigarette smoke all in your car. You ain't got no ashtrays. You got a modern car. You ain't got no ashtrays in this shit. You know that kind of stuff. Abuse. Abuse is the problem. Carol Chamberlain says, but was it really friendship or manipulation? Well, friends manipulate each other all the time. Sometimes we're cool with the manipulation. Oh man, we going to this party tonight. Tell your mom that you spending the night over my house. But we really gonna go to this party over in Jersey. We going to this party over in Jersey. You ain't but 16, 17, 15, 16, 17 years old. Y'all ain't got no business getting on the NJ Transit and going over to Jersey. Yeah, it's the abuse that's the problem. Shoot. I mean, as parents, we manipulate our kids all the time. All the time. We would never be able to get our kids to adulthood if we didn't manipulate them. We put them in positions where they're not able to do the wrong thing. That's manipulation. It is. It's straight manipulation. We put them in a position where they have to do the right things most of the time. Because if you do this, these are the consequences for that. And if you do this, you're going to get an ass whooping for that. And if you do this, you're going to get in trouble. And getting in trouble with them is going to make you get in trouble with me. And then it's manipulation. So all manipulation ain't bad. But it's when they abuse you in the manipulation, that's when it gets to be a really, really big problem. And that's what we have the most resentment for. So it's not the use that we really have the problem with. It's the abuse. It's not the manipulation. It's the abuse in the manipulation that we have a problem with. Shoot, the drug use ain't the problem. It's the abuse of the drugs that's the problem. It's the addiction. Shoot, You ain't a crackhead if you smoke crack once a year. If you could pull it off, like, yo, it's crack day. Here it is, December 21st. This is the day I smoke crack. I'm getting high today. Tomorrow I ain't getting high. And all the way up for the next year to December 20th, I'm not smoking no crack or nothing else. But on the 21st, if you could smoke crack once a year, maybe even once a month, you ain't no addict. The problem is crack, you got to smoke it all the time. It be calling me, man. All right, y'all. Let's do these birthday shout outs. We have some birthday shout outs to do. Some people were born on this glorious last day of Sagittarius, and they deserve to be acknowledged. So let's go about our business of acknowledging them, making them feel special because they are special, because they are special, because they are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They are SPECIAL. They get the RESPECT. They get number one out the box. Go get her, my girl Jamie Underwood. Happy birthday to you. And Candace Gaston. Happy birthday to you. And my man Gary Williams. My man, happy birthday to you, Gary. He live around here, as a matter of fact. And last but not least, my childhood friend, who's an even better friend to my big sister. They always been tight. Lived right down the street from me. My girl Tanya Frederick. No, not Tanya. Tanya, affectionately known to all of us as Tan. Happy birthday to you, Tan. I want to say happy birthday to all of y'all and anyone else out there who shares this birthday on this glorious December 21st. I hope that today finds you all in good health, happiness, mind, body, soul, and spirit. All of y'all go ahead and turn up. But don't turn up too loud. Just turn up loud enough so everybody can hear you. Rock out, rock on and do the damn, the rock out, rock on and do the damn, rock out, rock on and do the damn thing. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. You do your thing, y'all. Represent the queens and kings. Good things happen to those who wait. Great things happen to those who grind. And anything can happen to those who go for theirs. So go hard, go for yours, and remember, man, listen.
90
when you were younger, when you were dumber, you were prettier. Why can you? I said, why? I said, how can you be younger, dumber, ignorant, prettier? Younger, dumber, prettier, younger, dumber, prettier, younger, dumber, ignorant, much prettier. You were weaker. You were weak in the flesh. You were weak in the mind, and they love you. Want to get up in your behind. And when I say get up in your behind, I mean that you was the best thing that they could find to manipulate, take you on a date, spread the hate. As soon as you got better, they started to hate you. As soon as you start to learn, they started to hate you. As soon as you got your own, they started to hate you. They don't want to. They no longer wanted to date you. Yeah, all they want to do is get other people to hate you, and it's sad. But still, you rise. You keep learning. You keep shining. You keep doing better for yourself, and better is going to come for you. But people might start noticing your pimples. All right. Peace to all my day ones, my everydays, and my brand news. I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, and love y'all right back to life. People might start noticing your big forehead.
Seconds.
I love y'all to death, resuscitate y'all, love y'all right back to life. People might start noticing that you walk with a slight little. They might notice that the gap in your teeth. Don't matter, man. Fuck them niggas, yo. We will be back tomorrow night for another Daily Go Get 'Emism show. So make sure y'all come on through. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure that y'all share the show. Make sure that y'all subscribe to the channel. So, all right. So, Blog Talk, we gonna get you out of here. Yeah.
Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
What? And for my YouTubers, you know just how we do, but thanks for coming on through. See you on the other side, my boobers. See you on the other side, my boobers.